Hey everyone, today we're going to be working on the second line of your quote or Bible verse. And so first we're going to start out with the Dolly Parton quote, and we're on line 2, and the words that you're going to put on line 2 are, "If you want thee." Now remember, you can also do this quote in the masculine script, and you would still put the same amount of words on the line. Your font would just be a little bit different. The fonts are close enough that there's not a massive amount of change. I mean, yes, you have to follow them, but it's not going to massively affect how you're going to lay it out. So, I'll get some light on here. That might help. So, as you can see, let me try to straighten this a little bit too. Okay. I have mapped out the word. I mean, I've put it all out, but I've completely finished making the word if not three-dimensional, but like the thicker version that it's supposed to be. And again, I have on my iPad the words "if you want thee" on dafont.com. In the preview section, I have selected the size large so I can see it better. I'm blowing it up with my hand so I can see it better as well. And then remember, you hit the button submit. Okay, so now that we're on this line, I wanted to point out a couple of things to you. When you are, and I'll kind of slide this over so you can see a little better. When you've laid something out, like a lot of times I will put the font down similar to the way it looks, but I won't be super picky with it, just so I can make sure I kind of have it laid out the way I want. And then I will go back and fix it. So you can see on the word "thee" here, like this previous line was the original one I had, and so was this and this. So it helps to kind of like keep your original way that you drew it and then draw over it so you can kind of fix it. And then when you're done, you can just erase the part that was messed up so that it looks correct. Okay, and for today, I'm going to work on showing you how to make the word want, like thicker the way that it needs to be. So one of the things I like about this font is I just think the lettering is fun, like the way that they do the W, how it's like not actually symmetrical. It's kind of wonky. So, and I'm not doing exactly the way they do it because I feel like the version as you look at it looks a little bit more like it was done with, like it's a little bit hard to replicate by hand some of the letters because they look a little bit more like a screen print or something. So you can see the W gets a little like funky looking there, and then I'm gonna fix the top here. It does a fun little loop. And it stays thin right there and then gets thick on the outer part. I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. And then I'm gonna go over to the A, which I need to move over a little bit. And this, I like the A as well because it's so much different than the way we would normally do an A, because it is small. It looks like you've kind of gotten your symmetry incorrect because it's so far off from where the line would be, the bottom of the A, but then the little like leg or whatever that's called goes down to like where it should be. So I don't know, I think it's cute. So I'm gonna fill that in. And again, you can make little tweaks and changes as long as you keep the tweaks and changes throughout the entire quote or verse, because otherwise it'll look like you just made a mistake. And then I'm going over to the end. I'm going to thicken it up again, because the font is actually a thicker font versus thin lined. So this part of the end is thin, and then it gets thicker as you go onto the outer side. And remember, you do not need to color all this stuff in, because you're going to be going over it with a pen. You don't want to have a massive amount of pencil lead on your page. So that's why, like, you can see my lines in between, but like when it's in pen, it would look like this. And then I'm going to go over to the T, and the T is another one of the letters I have changed for this font because I don't love the T, but you might like it, so you can keep it, or you might want to change it completely differently than I did. And then I do my little like side swiped middle across the T. Okay, so that is the gist of kind of how you would fill things in. Here's the way it looks laid out. And so that's what I want you working on today. You should already have the words the way I see it. And now you're gonna work on if you want the. If I sent you back, whatever feedback I sent you regarding your graphs, you're gonna wanna make sure you've got that completely fixed, and so that you can get things straight, because doing this is gonna be hard enough as it is. And I'm gonna be creating another check-in today for these 2 sentences being completed. So, all right, so that's the first video, and then we will be doing the next one as well today that I will get out in just a sec.